So the gospel itself contains the power for salvation, right? Because I see it as the gospel is the power of God for salvation. But if the gospel itself is this power unto salvation, I guess one of my questions is just practically speaking, how accurate does someone's proclamation of the gospel have to be saved? And does it just have to be orthodox? And then within orthodox, if we have two proclamations of the gospel, you and I, for instance, they're both orthodox, but let's just say that you're just more seasoned, a better gospel preacher than me. Are there some gospel presentations that are more saving than others? Because you're putting all this power on the gospel.
What does this question have to do? What does this question have to do with the point of the debate? This, and I'm not saying this to disparage Brother Joel, but what this is, will you believe that you have to present a really, really effective gospel presentation? Because if you don't, then they won't get saved. You have to make it really, you have to really make sure that you get all these points in here. It's a rhetorical point. It's not a rhetorical question that it's not meant to be answered, but it's driving towards something that I don't think. So what? By the way, Eric, there's a scripture. I wanted to tell the story as I was thinking about reviewing this. Once upon a time, I found a Bible, and it was an ESV, and I was working for the time for a pretty reformed-leaning organization. And there was a passage in Acts that said, and I think it's, and Paul and Silas spoke so effectively that they believed. And it was underlined with a question mark next to it, because that does not fit. It does not fit with this is a true story. I'm not making this up. And I was like, I bet you're a Calvinist. But that's hard, right? Like, I want to do something
right here. Okay.
All right.
Joel. Yes. Yes. Pastor Joel.
Yep.
Yes. You can blow it. You can be a jerk. You can be untrained. You can be, it's not your gifting, but you think it should be because you're prideful. Yes, you have to train. You have to work at it. It takes work to persuade people, and their souls are worth it. Yes. Okay, I'm done. Continue.
And I think to be fair, awesome. I think to be fair, Leighton does say earlier, like he says, and I know that you would try to persuade them. You wouldn't just share John 3:16 and say, all right, see you later. And so no doubt he does try to persuade them, but that's a hard pill to swallow. It's a hard pill to swallow that yes, you carry responsibility and you need to be persuasive and you need to be gentle, and that this actually has an effect. It doesn't, they have sufficient revelation already to where they're able to believe, but it can affect the possibility or the persuasiveness of your argument. I feel like that's non-controversial to me, but I can see how people would say, I feel really uncomfortable with that. I feel like that's putting something
because now you are Hillsong, because now you are Bill Johnson, because this question is a dog whistle to the discernment reformed base of you don't want to be Steve Furtick. Are you Steve Furtick? Yeah. You don't want to be Steve Furtick, and the rational thing would be to take Steve Furtick as for what he is.
Please say Steve Furtick. Please say Steve Furtick. I'm pretty sure it's Furtick.
Furtick? It's not Furtick. It's Furtick.
I don't think so. I don't think it's Furtick.
Furtick.
Sorry, I just
Steve. No, I mean you're the language guy. Steve Furtick. The rational thing to do would be to take him for what he is, and like take his little nuggets and spit out the bones. Okay, but what they have to do because of this, because they can't have anything along these lines, because if you take one step, then you're fully Hillsong, you're fully Bill Johnson.
Kind of thing.
The slippery slope. Then that this is a dog whistle to that idea.
Agreed.
And all I'm saying is, and I think actually we disagree on this, Drew. So I'm going to give you a little question.
Okay.
Yes, Catholic cathedrals built 400 years ago in Italy are beautiful. And they were made to honor God because God is glorious. They are made to bring people to honor God. And we should still build those to persuade our culture. We should build big, beautiful things and make beautiful things, make beautiful art, architecture, TV shows, music. We should do it all to persuade our culture, but we don't do it.
Nope.